Hi, Jason Knott with CEPro, and I am excited to be joined by Sal Carrabba of Salamander Designs, founder. Sal, thanks for joining me today.
Great to be here. Thank you so much.
All right, there's a lot going on in the commercial workplace environment that you guys are right in the center of. Ergonomics, these creations of huddle rooms, these creation of really cool spaces for the new millennial employees. What are some of the big trends that you guys are addressing there to fit the needs of these needs?
Yeah, so it's actually really neat because we're seeing the proliferation of some really new technologies. The interactive flat panel, these IFPs, which is all the rage. The Surface Hub and some of these other later products with the touch technology. So that's a new technology that we had a chance to design some new products for, which is really very cool because it's a totally different type of product. The requirements for what it does functionally and how a user interacts with it naturally is it demanded us to totally rethink how we were mounting and positioning and building this thing. There were different considerations when it came to accessibility, like ADA compliance, users of different sizes and heights, natural preference to operate these devices in different ways. And there's so many different use cases for these touch panels that people use them in drafting modes or presentation modes or working mode. So it was a fun project because we got to think about it, and we came up with a range of mobile carts and stands and some other low profile solutions that address all those things. So that was kind of fun. So it's a new technology, and it's always cool to design things around a new technology.
Well, to me, it's not just the new technology part, but kind of that cool element of, open workplace environments, like you mentioned, mobile carts and those sorts of things. So there's a highly stylized element to what you're doing too, it sounds like.
Yeah, and that's what's neat. From an industrial design standpoint, it's different for us. We come from the residential world, and we're bringing our sense of style into the commercial space, and it's being well received. A lot of these corporate environments, we're seeing trends now where they want to see more residential looking furniture, so it's not cold, stark metal painted boxes and stuff like this, And so we're seeing some success with some of our low profile cabinets that go into those spaces to support technology. And then our carts and stands are pretty stylish too. So it's cool because you've got interior designers who care about the style and the aesthetic in that space, but then you've got the AV integrator, the hardcore IT guy who needs to know that their technology is going to be handled and that we're supporting it right and all of that. So it's neat.
Speaking of the residential side, one of the big trends that's happening is this disappearance or reduction of the giant rack that's in the basement that's loaded with all these giant switchers. Now equipment is, you're seeing less and less need for the big giant switchers. So now the equipment has gone to the point where it's more in place in that open environment, and people are okay with seeing some of the gear. How does that trend lend itself to what Salamander's doing?
So it's interesting. So it's been the pendulum has swung. There was a massive amount of equipment going into all those utility rooms forever, with big integrations, and now it's gone to these tiny little boxes now. So it's been interesting to watch. But whatever the technology is, the thing is, Salamander is a furniture manufacturer, but we manufacture furniture to support the technology first. So as I mentioned a minute ago, it's really about supporting the technology. So regardless of how much technology you've got, whether it's a small element or a large rack, our furniture will support it. So, in the resi side, we're seeing a trend towards, lower profile things, everything mounted on walls. And so we're responding with furniture that mounts to walls and shallow depth cabinets that don't protrude so much into the room because you don't need a full AV receiver in there. But we're even making low profile cabinets that are only 12 inches in depth, so it's nice aesthetic. But we have rack rails that are vertically mounted, so if you have an AVR, you can rack mount it vertically. So you're still supporting the gear. So it's interesting now that things are going back in the room, and that's where we like to see it because we're making furniture to support it.
You guys have led the CEPro 100 brand awareness for years and years. Can't even remember how many to count.
Thank you.
Is it 9? 9, congratulations. So what makes you unique out there in the marketplace?
I our Salamander's strength as a domestic manufacturer is our ability to allow a customer to customize a solution around what their needs are, whether it's style needs or functional needs, the equipment that they've got at the time, and the fact that our stuff is retrofittable and customizable. So it's a design your own story. That's one of the pillars of Salamander. You get to design just what you want. There's so many configurations. It's so customizable. You can accessorize things. You can change things. And focusing on the enthusiast and the professional has made us successful. You know, again, we're a furniture manufacturer, but we sell to AV folks. That's really our focus. So that's what makes us special.
What are some of the best practices you've heard from the integrators you've spoken with, or internally there with your own team that work well with integrators when they're talking to their customers about their furniture or their seating needs?
Yeah. So for us, we try to educate our dealers as much as we can because we recognize that selling furniture doesn't come naturally to them. Furniture is not their passion. We get it. AV is. So we try to educate these folks, and we've got a new program that we're launching, an educational program to try to get the word out to how to talk to your client, what's important about some of these things. But it comes down to just really understanding what the client needs, asking some questions. What's below the TV? Even if the TV is on the wall, typically you want a cabinet or a credenza below it. And the fact that the AV integrator is the guy that probably put together the equipment list, he knows what needs to be supported. And why not make that recommendation and the suggestion to say, hey, listen, you might want to consider this sort of credenza because I know the size of it is appropriate for that screen you've got or what have you. And from that point, you say, okay, this is sort of the size that I think you recommend, that I recommend. Why don't you check out the different styles that are available? And so with Salamander, we've got so many configurations and then so many styles, we can fit in any decor really. So it's bringing up the topic, showing the client options, and then letting them pick. It's sort of like the old McDonald's, you want fries with that? It's just asking the question.
All right, last but not least, tell us what's new on the product front from you guys.
So more styles and configurations for some of the new technologies. We recently did a really cool project with Sony for their UST, this ultra short throw projector that they launched. It's a real beauty. And the UST, that whole category of product, is really a new one for us. So we're developing new cabinets to support some of the new USTs that are coming out from other major manufacturers as well, because we've built a cabinet that you can take that whole projector and sink it into the cabinet. So the cabinet is flush. So it's fully integrating that UST into the cabinet to give you a nice streamlined, clean look. And so you can get a 120-inch screen just by placing a cabinet a couple inches from the wall. And so that's another cool new technology that gave us a chance to rethink how we integrate things.
Yeah, those ultra short throw projection is fantastic. So, all right, Sal Carrabba, founder of Salamander Designs, thanks for joining CEPro today. I appreciate it.
Thank you, Jason.